Okay, so today we're going to talk about articulation, or in other words, when we produce speech or the words that I'm saying, articulation is taking the muscles in our mouth and producing those different sounds. So here we have a picture. Imagine the head, and we cut it straight in half. And now we're looking in on that one half to see what's going on inside our mouth. So we've labeled a couple of different important things. Um, let's start with the blue little circular things. That is our teeth. And then if you go a little bit forward, there's our lips. And then this huge big red thing in the middle, that's our tongue sitting in our mouth. And then the last here are a little more hard sometimes, but first the alveolar ridge. If you take your tongue and you touch right behind your teeth where it's kind of a little rough, that's your alveolar ridge. And then if you take your tongue a little farther back, just where it's really hard, that's your hard palate. And then if you go even further back until it becomes soft and almost a little squishy, that is your soft palate. So now we're going to talk about three muscles specifically that go into articulation to make a specific sound. So in the top, we have our tongue, and then it's on the bottom, so those are our teeth on each side of it. And the purple muscle, this is called the superior longitudinal. It elevates the tip of the tongue, or in other words, it brings the tongue tip up in our mouth. The transverse is in pink, and that narrows and elongates the tongue. So in other words, it's making our tongue thinner, so it's not touching our teeth as much, and long. And then lastly, on this skull picture, this is not a tongue muscle like the others, it's a facial muscle, but it is called the risorius. And its responsibility is to pull the lips towards the teeth. Kind of like when we smile, that risorius muscle is being used. Your teeth immediately flat, like your lips flatten against your teeth. So now we're going to look specifically at the S sound with these three muscles. So when we make the S sound, we start by humming. If you hum, you're vibrating your voice box, which is a little bit below your head, kind of in the neck area. And once you have that vibration going, now we want to articulate with those muscles the specific S sound. And so our superior longitudinal, I want you to pause this video and make that S sound. And notice how your tongue, the tip of it, lifts up, kind of towards that alveolar ridge we talked about. Next is the transverse muscle. And like we said, it narrows and elongates. So again, pause this video, make that S sound, and notice how your tongue stops touching your bottom teeth as much. It's more narrow. And then lastly, the risorius facial muscle. When you make the S sound, again, pause the video. When you say S, your lips are pulling towards your teeth. And all three of those together are making that S sound. And that's how we produce that. There's many other sounds that we make with different muscles in different ways, and this was just a little peek into articulation.